Joining us tonight, Congressman Matt Gaetz, member of the House Judiciary and Armed Services Committees. Congressman, great to have you with us. And the president saying after Nancy Pelosi refused to put forward a proposition or to accede to his insistence that a wall be funded and built, that it's a waste of time and bye-bye, as he put it. What's your thought?
Lou, if the Democrats' heads were spinning any faster in Washington, we'd probably have to call the exorcist. These are the same Democrats who are today calling a wall racist and immoral and unacceptable, who previously have voted for billions of dollars in fencing and border security. This makes absolutely no sense to me. There are a lot of wealthy Democrats in Congress who live behind physical barriers. Now, they don't have those barriers because they hate the people on the outside. They have them because they love the people on the inside. Donald Trump loves this country, and he is fighting for the forgotten men and women who want higher wages, safe streets, rule of law, and a preservation of this country's borders, language, and culture. I don't think that's too much to ask, and it's pretty ridiculous that Democrats won't even come to the table with some of the very same proposals that they have supported in the past.
Do you know what is becoming, it seems to me, becoming clear as it could possibly be to all involved, Democrats, Republicans, the American people? And that is, why negotiate over national security? This is the President of the United States. He says a wall should be built, that it's a national emergency. At that point, the nation should rally behind him, Democrats as well as Republicans. But without question, there shouldn't be any further negotiation with these people who have been repeatedly arrogant and ignorant in their responses and refusing, absolutely abdicating their responsibilities as legislators representing states and districts whose people deserve to be safe, as the president said, to have their borders secure and the nation sovereign and without question secure.
Yeah, I wonder if Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are willing to make the phone calls to the family members who are grieving after people come across our borders illegally and then commit violence against the people who are here legally. You are right, Lou, that the presidency carries with it a unique set of obligations and also a unique perspective. Donald Trump has made those calls. He's met with those families. He understands what a porous border does to the American life. And I think that's why he's fighting so hard. Now, here's where we've got to be careful, Lou. If any time any president says, I deem something to be an emergency, and so I'm just going to do it, can you imagine what Barack Obama might have done to this country?
I know what he did, by the way, with a pen and a phone. I mean, you go right through the list. $150 billion to Iran, packaging up billions of dollars in currencies and delivering it. The list is immense. It is shameful. It is remarkable.
And President Trump undid a lot of that stuff. Like, the good news is that we actually elected a president with the guts to go in and call out that inappropriate behavior for what it was, Barack Obama exceeding his authority. So President Trump actually is a deal maker. He wants to make a deal. The difference between government and real estate is that in real estate, typically both sides want the deal because they both have something to gain from it. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer don't want to gain from a safer country. They want to continue to exploit the immigration issue to try to inflame the most radical fringes of the left.
Congressman, we knew all of that. We've known it for years. Yep. We have known it when George Bush was blathering about jobs that Americans won't do and trying to set conditions and rationalize illegal immigration and the wanton exploitation of illegal immigrants in this country by the business lobby. And I include in that the Business Roundtable, the Chamber of Commerce, the Koch brothers. And we are now at the same position where this president is not talking about illegal immigration. He is talking about a threat to this country that in the form of opiates, drugs that are the deadliest in the history of the world. 70,000 ODs in this country in the last year. The list goes on. It is a national emergency. It is a crisis, and there could be no rational disputation of that. Could there?
Well, Lou, you usually ask the questions, but let me ask you one.
Sure.
Will Donald Trump be reelected in 2020 if he is not standing in front of a border security wall?
I think the answer to the question, if I may, I would put it this way. There are some fights that are worth having. This is a fight that is worth having because the future of the country depends on it. I would say this: if this president is not reelected as a result of his insistence on a secure nation, a sovereign nation, and providing for the safety of the American people, then we've lost a nation, and it will be a shameful, shameful outcome were he not to be reelected. Is that a fair answer?
It is. I don't usually share the specifics of my conversations with the president, but what you just said reminded me of one of our last discussions where he said, Matt, I'm going to fight with everything I have for the forgotten Americans who want a secure border, and if I don't get it, I'm going to die with my boots on. That's the kind of resolve I want from the energetic executive that we have at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, someone who is willing to do everything he can to make sure that the American people see promises fulfilled. A lot of politicians want to make promises in elections and then abandon them once they're able to achieve high office. This president actually intends on keeping his promises.
You know, one of the strange things about this presidency are the number of those in the opposition, the resistance as they style themselves, who question his talent, his integrity, his steadfastness, when really the only question is, frankly, based on the past 2 years, is whether the Republican conference will stand with this president, because it is their guts, their principles that has been obviously lacking throughout.
Well, that's clearly why the president was on the Hill today, Lou, because as you have pointed out, there is a well-funded open borders wing of the Republican Party, and President Trump doesn't want to see them do violence to the efforts that all of us are undertaking to try to deliver for the American people. And I think he was very effective today. When he got with a lot of those Republican senators, they understood how high the stakes are, not just for elections or legacies, but for the type of country we're going to have for the next
national security
generation.
of the United States.
That's right. You've nailed it. And I think they get that now.
All right. Well, Congressman Matt Gaetz, you've gotten it for a very long time, and I have been one of those principal leaders, and we appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.